defiled. And again, not, don't change. You said don't add or take away. So very important that do not partake in unfruitful works of darkness, right? The low energy swine. So Father's the Word. Father is not flesh. He had to birth a flesh vessel. Without that, we wouldn't have the Messiah then, would we? We wouldn't, he had to birth a flesh vessel to fulfill the laws of flesh. Like in Paul's writing, remember, wrestle not against flesh. He said it was fulfilled when they hung him from a tree. And he said, follow. You have to do what he did. Follow after me. That's why he sent his son, because they had perverted his agape, the law. So it was not a religion. It was Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, which is the first 5 scriptures written in the Old Testament. So it's a test, not a tempt. Remember, test of your will, Father's will, to see if you'll do self-will as idolatry. And that's exactly why he divorced his bride Israel, and he called her a whore in the book of Revelation. So the scriptures, right? The scribes, they pounded, people can kick rocks, or they pounded the law, the Torah, because every yod has frequency. It's a mathematical language. That's the word dialectus or glossa or tongues. There's no such thing as speaking in tongues, but people speak in an alien tongue. So very alien, very foreign, that's the word. Alien means foreign, not somewhere in the sky. Aliens aren't in the sky. There's no gods in the sky, no aliens in the sky, no heavens in the sky. He said to meet him in the sky, and that's not above your head. So can't serve 2 masters. Thank you, Father, for that, for the word, because if you study it, then aletheia is truth, and you have to study it 1 word at a time. So 1 word, like Lilith. Isn't that ironic? So you'll know them by their fruit. No bad apples. Remember, like Leviathan in the garden, crooked. He doesn't want you to sup with people who are crooked, like a viper. It's got 2 fangs, right? Like, it was a snake, before you let me in, then he let Joe Biden. Remember that? So that's the way it goes. People are vipers, and they'll drain your energy. Remember, wrestle not against flesh and blood, if you know anything about Lilith. But remember, a baptism is by fire, by trial. The lips is tribulation and suffering, long suffering. So that's the gospel. Not peace is antichrist. So all this antichrist, a pagan term. Oil to be anointed. And he said the eye is the lamp of the body. It's supposed to be single. The eye is the lamp of the body. So it's either dark or light. So don't partake in unfruitful works of darkness, like the eye, the vessel, the whole lamp is filled with darkness. It's filled with light in the whole vessel. Don't mix. Marry truth to a lie, right? Don't marry. We're supposed to be equally yoked. Marriage, right? It's all about a wedding. So it's all about the word. If your name will be called out in that book, right? Do you think that has anything to do with the yods in your Shem? Just speak an alien dialect, and maybe you'll depart from your unfruitful works of darkness, iniquity. Father, the word rebukes. The word rebukes. Name is Shem, not name. There is no name. You don't use the word name. You don't know what that means. Name is authority. Remember? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. That was authority. That was called Torah, the law. Remember? the old 12 tribes of Levite, remember? Levitical high priest Aaron, remember? Jacob. If you're going to use the letter J, there was no Jacob, right? But we'll use the letter J because you guys speak in your dead English language that has no bass, no frequency, no resonance, no value. It's a dead language. So people wake up and you die, right? Somebody dies and then you wake and you mourn. So you've got two people that are high in here. What are you high on? Are you higher in a B-2 bomber over Iran, dropping dropping venom, snake oil? So I'm here on this abomination corporation, former nation. Now it's again, Back to the Future Corporation. So yeah, I gotta hang out in the hang. They hung him from a tree. He said, "Follow after me." Not he didn't carry a tree or he didn't carry a cross. He carried a yoke. He said, "Don't yoke, don't sup, don't partake. Come out of her, be in it, but be not of it." So most people love to suck, tables. It's written on tables. You eat at the table or you lie. He said, "Don't lie," right? No. Don't partake. Don't break bread. Don't bring them in your house. Don't bring them home to your mama or your dad. That's not your father. Your father is he said, call the man father. He is the father, remember? So Papa, Pope, that's all that religious nonsense. They do all their spinning on a ball ritual, their ball worship, Baal, Jezebel, like Ahab married Jezebel, and she taught the Jezebel Baal worship to the children, worship of the stars, Ishtar, the wife of Baal, sun, star and sun, lunar worship, lunar moon. This is all being done today. People do the same thing. So I'm sitting here in abomination. Can't wait for the return of the bridegroom. When the dead are raised, they don't fall from out of the sky. Fall doesn't mean from the sky. You don't die and go to the sky. Heaven's not above your head. So just in here doing what I'm supposed to be doing, sharing the word, not denying. If you deny me, Father's the word in front of your friends and your family and your modern, I guess, social space, right? So Back to the Future, then I'll deny you in front of my Father, he said. So, and he's the word. So sharing the word, do not hide. Remember, like the burning bush, do not hide that light in the bush. Don't hide that in a basket. Do not hide the light. So many don't want to hear it. So Father will only send the ones that have a hearing ear, because otherwise their ears have been restrained and they have not had an apocalypse. Means to lift off the restrainer, to remove the cover, to lift the veil, to remove, to reveal. So revelation. So I come in here to share the gospel. Pastor Apocalypse. Whoa. Thank you, Father. So made some spaghetti, but didn't eat much. Lost my appetite. My back's just pinched nerves, just drive me nuts. So had to sit down for a little bit. Thought I'd come in here and share the word, because that's what we're supposed to do. Fellowship with those not that are in darkness, but those that are in light. And you probably won't find too many, so I don't think so, because the world is a bunch of Satanists, and they go after gods in the sky and do their zero. Thank you. No zero. So there is no zero. No zero, no thousand. Right? So don't do what the world is doing. They're spinning, whirling, and corkscrewing. That sounds awful perverted. Yeah, that Hebrew word is froward. Means to pervert. They're very perverted. I live in a world full of perverts when it comes to the word. And then they have the pedophile ruling class. So that's how I'm doing. How you living? In living, I don't see color. In living color. What are you doing? How you doing? How you doing? What are you doing? Do you have any gospel to share? Can you share any, or you just share darkness? Anybody have anything that's worth like you're like a mushroom fed in the left in the dark and fed a bunch of, or you just got a bunch of crap. Most people have their mouth that comes flying, which is a bunch of crap. So thought maybe somebody had something. Come in here and see if somebody had something to say that was worth a crap. So most people are full of it. So when it comes to the word, it comes to scriptures. So because they're religion, he doesn't dwell in a temple. Remember, the temple. He used to visit just one day a year. Now he's on tables. Remember, he said, "Don't sup with vipers." Written on tape. You gotta knock that off the couch, buddy. I'm hanging out with my puppy. So recap. Cap. If you lifted the cap, if you lifted the cover, that would be the word apocalypse. How about that? This is a ministry, not a religion. So I love is the word agape is a love. So you might want to get a pen and paper and write it down because most people can't keep up. They got TikTok rot. They're low energy. That's the word alien, foreign, or in opposition. So aliens don't exist in the sky. That's a word. Father's the word. So don't confuse the two. Father's ghost. That's Hokadesh. So without flesh, Hokadesh spirit. So write that down. Might learn you something. He said, call no man prophet. That's the word teacher. Call no man teacher. A false teacher is the word scorpizzo. Like, Mr. Warp Speed, watch out for the old, it was a snake before you let me in. Then he let Joe Biden. Oh, maybe in Joe Mama. So, but anyways, mother's correction. Write that down. Correction. Mother corrects. Like reproof, to go back and correct with the aletheia, truth, word. Father's the word. Hogadesh, spirit in the beginning was the word. So how about that? You keeping up there, Christopher? Or you got TikTok rot brain? Miss, when is this guy gonna admit that? Just spam for Taylor. Kane, no Kane and Abel here, man. Maybe me go Big John Studd or Superfly Jimmy Snuka, you coming flying off the top ropes. I go back. Oh, Kikabukia. You don't know WWF. You're probably WWE. Child, get away from me. This ain't midget wrestling. So, wrestle not against flesh and blood, remember? All righty then. Whatever you say there, cracker. Remember? Crackers and grape juice. Bloods, Crips and Bloods, donkeys and elephants. This circus show come out of your mouth. You sound like a box full of a carnival. Remember? Crackers. Won't be too many more crackers. Listen here, jerky. Remember, eat the meat. The fat was the best part. You're not going to be able to get bull bell. You're full of it. Remember crap we were talking about? Dung left in a dark room and fed a bunch of like a mushroom. Fed a bunch of about bat guano. So what are you growing? How are you living? You ain't growing nothing. Make your own power. You're powerless. So how about that for a body slam? You just got thrown off the top ropes, out of the ring. So we don't play that. Remember, I ain't dressing up and putting no paint face on like a clown cane. Get away from me, bad man orange. Why don't he just paint his face like Bozo that he really is, like you? Get away from me, Bozo. I don't sell the clowns or vipers. Remember? Eat your kids. Get away from me, McDonald. Chicken nugget. So wings, you're full of it. Wings. Angelos. Don't use that word, right? People don't know how to. You won't make it. You're in a word. You try to put you in a word headlock. How about that? You crowd, remember? Oh, what a crown of thorns and strangle nations. So, well, your head is just, wrestle not against flesh and blood. right? But against principalities, powers, the rulers of the darkness of this world, spiritual wickedness. Go bring anybody to me with your word salad. Soup. Cosmos is the word orderly arrangement. It's not in the sky. So guarantee you they'll get, down for the count. Uno, dos, tres. All right, it's over. Victory. Only those who can endure to the very end. A marathon, size up the competition. Don't come out too quick. Take a one pump chump, or maybe a two pump chump. Remember, you got to go a little longer than that, right? And endure to the end. Finish up the strongest. So, what happened to Christopher? The bull. They're full of it. All right, thank you, Father. We just bounce off the comments too in the ministry. It's okay. People are full of crap. Remember, like America makes no sense. American, kick the can down the road. $1 trillion they print every 100 days. So come back every day and I give you $1 million. They take 360,000 years to pay you off, right? So pay it off. Remember? He's got credit. So what are you window shopping? No, you've been merchandise, been sold out by your labor on the New York Stock Exchange. Remember? Bull, bell, full of it. Crap. Bull. So what's going on? Or did you get thrown out of off the top ropes? Remember, I'm like the British Bulldogs. I'll tag team. You start throwing each other at you, right? So you don't know nothing about wrestling. Remember, you don't know anything about scripture. So crown of thorns. Remember, they put a crown of thorns. He said, Revelation 3:11. I come quickly. Let no one take your crown. Keys to knowledge. We got a Abu's live. Right on. Outstanding. These people can't keep up, JW. They're like, they try to come in here and try to have a word wrestling match with me, but they ended up getting thrown out off the top rope. I already body slammed them, and I did a suplex, and they went the other way. What the complete out free, but the other, remember, if you know what a suplex is, don't make me DDT you. They were WWE. I'm a little older than that. EF, a little more seasoned. WWF, not E. So, but, all right, get away from me. So, these people play with yods, play with their little tittle or whatever their yin yang. That's what, remember, their dark and light symbolism. Try to come in here and play some word salad with me. They end up tossed. Get it? Down for the count, too. Remember, 1, 2, 3, they're a two pump chump. They don't have it in them. So, hold it down. So, got to finish strongest, remember, to win the race, the marathon, whatever. Hey, it's a match. Remember, wrestle not against flesh and blood. So they can't keep up. I told them to write it down, but they don't have any. It's not in them. No aletheia, no truth. It's not in them. It's not in them. Can't make it. It's not written on their hearts. Remember, it's only written on the hearts of the ones that, like, don't have their crown taken from them. Like a strangulation around your head, pinching off your knowledge, right? Pinch. That's the word theolobos. Speak any Greek? So put you in a. Hold on, who was a Greek wrestler? Was that Bob Backlund, or was that? Who's a Greek wrestler? It don't matter. We're making some Greek salad here. You'll get tossed. So thank you, Father, for giving the moderators the ability to toss people out here that fruit salad that don't produce any fruit. Remember, one bad apple and a salad will upset the whole apple cart. So get it out of here. Thanks for coming in. So we're tossing them out left and right. The word is they can't hang. Remember, he hung from a tree, not a cross. So unfold a box because they get a cross, right? They don't come out of their box. They're locked in a box. So I think people hang from crosses. So hang. How's it hanging? It's kind of a derogatory word if you think about that. So remember, they hung him from a tree. So he said, follow after me. Does anybody want to hang you from a tree? Put holes in you? What kind of weight you carrying? Weight of the world? Yoke? Are you whirling, spinning, corkscrewing on a ball? in one of the ball camp. So shapes and balls, right? So box and balls and cross. That's crucifixion. It was a hanging, and it didn't carry crosses. What's up with that? He tells you to carry your cross. What's up with that? Do you have a cross? Do you have a crown? You have to have a cross and carry it until you come to your last breath and then die and then be resurrected. Remember? We return and redeem. Receive. Remember? Look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. So get your head out of your ass. Somebody's an ass, somebody who can't learn. So heads up, look up. These people have been in the dark, remember? Or their fourth point of contact, so sitting on their cheeks, two cheeks to the same hole, two wings to the same dragon, puff, I don't know, whatever hot air hole it's coming out of. So, like the commander in Queef. So, okay, anybody have a comment on the old pretendant getting, why do they pull JD in advance, JD Trump Vance out of the room first? And then sit there for how many seconds before the old pedophile in chief was removed from the, well, he fell. Remember, he tripped like Biden. Remember? It was a snake before you let me in. Then he let Joe Biden. Remember? So, tripping. So, I ain't tripping no more. Remember, too short. So, I don't know what he tripped over. Remember, too short. Couldn't have been that. So, no comments. We go silent like into the night, majority, into history, the records, celestial, biblical, scriptural records. His is one-sided. That's a bias. It's only one side. I know that sounds like two, but it's only one. Bias, one. So, well, but that's two. Well, you're only seeing one side. You've been told you want me to come on by and give it a try now. Remember, I'll do the transgender nonsense. It'll make no sense. So, Father is not three in one. Father is separate. Father, Son, and pure, without blemish. Holy Ghost, Ruach, Hokadesh, Spirit. So, without flesh, without breast, there's God is three in one God with breast and beast and man. Wow. Sickening, huh? It's okay. Don't sup with vipers, they'll make you sick. So, unfruitful word. Well, we've been drinking too much. You getting punch drunk on the leaven. Little leaven levels the whole up, and now you just little overdid it. So a little over the top. Little leaven levels the whole up like the cream rises to the top. Oh, that was good. Thank you, Father, for that. So thank you for not sending me anybody who knows the word and can share it here today. It seems like that most people, again, as you write in your words, are evil or nice. Remember, nice means to be stupid, and that's nice and stupid. You play stupid games and you get stupid prizes. So that's what you get for coming on the web, right? A bunch of, not everybody, I'm just saying. How many people do you come across in your daily that know the gospel, can share it with others? I let the truth, share the truth, the one that's written on the hearts of the bride. So you'll know them by their fruit. Remember, bad apples don't hang out with people that'll rub off on you. So how about that? No gospel going in here. I'm sharing the gospel, but nobody's sharing no gospel with me. All right. That's okay. We'll go for a little bit. I ain't gonna go forever. If I can't get anybody in here sharing any gospel, all I'm supposed to do is come in and share it. If not, he said come out of her. Might have to just hang her up for a while. I don't know. You homesteaded, you do anything, you got to put anything up, you're just going to be a burden to everybody else. We have massive supply chain shortages that are here already. Gas is what, $5 where I live. Ground beef hit $12. The president's a pedo. Nobody cares. The whole world sees it, except for everybody here in America. They don't care at all. The whole world sees it. They're doing Lego memes about it, So the whole world sees it, even the children. The children. Does anybody care about the children that the Americans are going to pay for at their death when they paid for the bombing of school children, 150 plus all the staff, the women and men that were also there, teaching the children, officials that were there. So that's pretty sickening, huh? They don't care. They're like, nope, you can say nothing about it. I won't have to answer for that. Yeah, you will. Father sees everything that's inside you. He's not in the sky. He sees your intentions, sees what the whole world doesn't see. Imagine that. See what I'm saying? See, the beast out of the sea, the great sea. What sea is that? The one that the family of Jacob, remember, not Jacob was Israel, and Israel was a man, not a country. So there's no Israel country. That's blasphemy. You don't know any scriptural history, do you? Scriptural record, because recorded, they wrote it down, but the victor gets the spoils. So, all right. Looks like Father doesn't want me to share any gospel with anybody because nobody's got a hearing ear, and he won't send anybody in here, so that's fine. Well, anybody with a hearing ear. He sent a whole room. I bet you could be 100 people in here, and they'll all still be deaf ears. Restrain the restrainer. He's the one who lifts the restrainer. He's the one who, Aletheia, truth. He's got the keys to knowledge. Remember, hell is no knowledge, so he's got the keys to no knowledge. He is knowledge. That's Aletheia, knowledge, bis. Hell is no knowledge. That's the reverse of Father, remember? Without knowledge is Father, so most people don't have any, so they're already there, and hell is not below their feet, remember? God is a title, not above your head. Deities, they used to pray to their deities. They thought they were gods, Baal, sun gods, and tree gods, earth, resurrection of the birth of the tree, Nimrod, the mighty hunter, get it? By pulling on your strings. So, the harper's harp, remember? Hallelujah. Only those will hear the harper's harp by his voice. So thank you, Father. He is that cosmos, orderly arrangement of resonance, frequency, value. Hallelujah. Thank you for that discernment. It's in the word. Take that. Strum on that. Let your fingers do the walking like the yellow pages. Get the 411. Get the bis. Get the knowledge. Maybe the time, but the tone, the time will be. Do you ever call the time? Nobody's ever called the time. Man, what a lame day this is. What is it, Moon Day? It's because everybody's a bunch of lunatics. Lunatics. They're all mind wandering like a moon, like a waxing and waning crescent. Remember, moon lunatics. They're on their cycle. Worship calendars. Maybe everybody's at worshiping. They're doing their calendar, punching the clock, and doing their days. Tuesday and their calendar. Remember, Mars and Giannis, the Joker. Remember, like 2 decks. Well, we're not going to play. Let's not play that game. How about just a single 52 pickup, like weeks in a year? I thought there was 13 months in a calendar year. 12, or 12. December is the 10th month, not the 12th month. What's wrong with you? See, you worship a calendar. It's not 2026. What's wrong with you, man? You are, I'm the weird one, huh? Well, you don't even know what time it is, so don't talk to me, right? No, nobody's even saying a word, so that's okay. Father don't want you to hear it. Falls on deaf ears, remember? To restrain the ear, to lift the veil, to lift it is to remove it, and that is the word revelation. So, welcome to those yods. The firmament declared it, not I. Remember Saturn, the time marker, when it birthed Jupiter, the king? Just like they birthed the fake nation of Israel, remember? The nation is not Israel, it was a man. There were 12 tribes. Jacob, tribe of Jacob, remember? Jacob, he who so loved and hated Esau. Remember, like Cain, that was left out of the... So he mentioned Cain earlier. I had to go there. Got a little long in the string. Resonance, frequency, value. Well, word. So... Thank you, Father, for that. I know it doesn't make any sense. Like most people don't pay attention, so it don't make any sense because they think believe is a thought in their head, and you can't believe. Thought believe isn't a thought. That's not what the word believe is. Not a thought. So I want to back up. And I'm not going to try to school you. He says call him a teacher, and a false teacher is the word scorpizzo, and I think that's what you've been taught is false teaching. So Father's the word, remember, not a deity in the sky. So thank you, Father, for that. I love the word. That's agape. There is no. That's phileo. Phileo is like you love your wife. That's not love. Is agape. So you don't love. That's phileo. There's a different. So love for Father. That's agape love. So remember, he said, Peter, I'm not asking you. Well, Peter out a 2-pump chump. Oh wait, denied 3 times. Can't even get it up 3 times, huh? Denied. Yeah, I'm not asking you if you phileo me like you like the two, well, whatever, the rack on your truck and the rack on your wife. Get it? The rack? No, buck. Oh, let me get it. The man's nuts, right? Well, bag, buck, or nuts. The man's nuts. What's the difference between beer nuts and deer nuts? One comes in a bag, one comes under a buck. Ooh. All right. No talking, huh? All right. I'll end the stream. I ain't gonna sit in here and waste time. I will. I'll move on. I can do other things. I'm not gonna come in here and no share the gospel. So I'm not gonna do it anymore. I've been seriously. Father's telling me don't stop doing it. I'm putting you away from this because I don't want you around these people. They'll rub off on you. They'll tell you things that are false teachers, scorpizzos. They'll tell you that God loves everybody, that He's in the sky, and you know, just all the that if you believe, you'll be saved. Nobody's been saved. That Jesus is. There's no such thing as Jesus. That doesn't exist. Stop saying that. And I'm not going to fight over a yod. That's a letter. So again, there's no fighting in here. The word rebukes a man. It's the one that punishes you. So it fixes you. So He doesn't want anybody fixed. So remember, He's nigh at the door. We're supposed to be girded in His service. That's the word. Believe. It's an action word. It's a verb. So. All right. No comments. I like to have comments. Like, no, somebody's hearing me. And I don't care. I put out channel content, but I don't want to do that. I'm not into that. I've done that for how many years? About 10 plus, and then been live streaming since, so almost 13 years if you're on YouTube. But I prefer to have a conversation and dialect with people, but it's okay. Father's the one that gives an ear to hear, and then the one, if they can reciprocate, they can share. And if they're not sharing, then they're going to go to hell, and they're already there. So, oh, you're at that fear gospel. Fear, he said, only fear the Lord, right? So there's another word that was never written in the Old or New Testament, Lord. That's the word master, and he says you can't serve two. So sounds like you're serving your alien tongue to me. So, well, it's because you kick everybody off your channel that, well, he said don't sup bad apples, remember? Don't sup with vipers. Anybody have a comment? Or you just low energy swine, like in the garden, crooked, like a serpent? Must have been screwing around the corners with that arc rockets or whatever, that ritual they do. The twin sister Artemis of Apollyon Satan, remember he went to the moon? Remember, he went to the moon. Apollo mission to the lunar moon, his wife. Sit there and play these games with you. Oh, Buck, what's going on? Buck's high. Buck's higher than a hippie and a 747, or maybe a C-130. Let's go old school. Why not? Troop carrier, weapons carrier. Oh man, my back. So nobody's talking, Buck. Nobody's saying anything. The channel could be another shadow band channel. So walking the shadow of the valley, was born in the valley. Not a lot, just a little bit. So, but in the past, just a little bit. That's just the tip ritual. Watch out. Buck's gonna try to hit you with just the tip ritual. Watch out, ladies. He's a buck. He's gonna end up. They're gonna get the whole. How about the whole wallet, ladies? Gonna watch out. Remember deer nuts and beer nuts. So, what's the difference between deer nuts and beer nuts? One come under a buck and one come in a bag. One comes in a sack. Wait a minute. What's happening? We're just trying to share some gospel. Nobody wants to talk. They're just so, this world sucks. They pulled the vice president off the stage before the big guy, Mr. Chunky Monkey. So Dave would be under a buck. There we go. He'd be rubbing them. He's rubbing it like McDonald's, out in the parking lot. Wrong app. Whoop, I thought it was on wrong app. Whoop, darn it. So, oh man, that you're on the freaking McDonald's app. Now you're out at the police department with 3 counts of rubbing it. So, did. Yeah, I told you to go through the drive-through, right? Convenience. That's what always sells. Remember the insinuation of sex and then convenience. So, oh man. Apologies. I'm not trying to be, it's just Father has my tongue in somebody came in with some Cain and Abel or whatever, tried to talk about some wrestling, and then I put everybody in a stranglehold. Well, not a strangulation nation, but remember the corporation, but not word salad. Remember Cosmos tossing them over. Remember like Jimmy Fly Snuka. I went old school, not EF. Remember WW, not electric frequency, magnetic EMF. Remember magnetism. So polarity. So I'm tossing them all around the ring. So to and fro. Remember, like a drunkard, like it says in the scripture, that the earth, the people, they'll be going back and forth. That's the sorrows that it talks about in scripture that I keep trying to tell everybody over to listen. But whatever, I got them back. That's like I said, seesaw. Remember, hacksaw Jim Duggan. Oh, no, whatever. So they couldn't hang. So hang. Remember, he hung from a tree. He said, "Follow after me." Does anybody want to hang you from a tree? Take up your cross. He never hung from crosses. Are you carrying your cross? They're lost in space. Remember, space bars. Maybe I'm jumping off satellites back to the surface. They fly over a plane they get the fisheye lens when they go up in the sky. So, fishbowl, remember? We're just 2 lost souls swimming in a fishbowl year after year, running over the same old ground. Oh, man. I better stop. They can't keep up. Concentrate. Remember, like orange juice, these people have TikTok rot brain. Legion, he said, I am many, and they can't keep up. And we're like a vampire, low energy. Vampires are pigs. People are like vipers, like a snake that'll drain you dry, the aletheia truth. So don't hang with vipers. They'll start telling you lies in the skies to your eyes, too. Remember, vision. Told you visions of, remember, you went to school. They stung you at the spelling bee and cursed at you with, remember, got you, you were, remember, the writer. You're not the writer, Father's creator, in cursive, remember, and spelling bees. You got stung at the spelling bee, and you told everybody that we went to the moon, right? No, go with the flow like everybody else was told, remember? Nope. Uh-oh, what do we got here? Oh, the jerks. Oh, it's just some stupid thing, okay. What is that? Oh, that's the name. Okay, I don't have the money for it, so. Okay, thank you, Father, for the word. I only want to hang out with people who are not, not all pain is good, but it is part. I told you, it's your body telling you need to get it fixed. I already told you that connection, remember? Like the red ring of death. It's like a fuse, pop it so you don't blow the whole system. So body's an amazing thing. Anatomy is an amazing, remember? The woman, the egg, the ovulation, all these functions of our body, the reason that you bleed, hemorrhaging, body temperature, core, just the base of how we function, the circulatory system that goes to just about every, the capillaries, all the strangulation of the capillaries. I can't breathe. Remember 5G whiz? So I'm pretty sure you can make the connection. So, but either way, it's telling your body that something's not right, remember? And to get it fixed. So my body's doing the same thing. So Father makes us so freaking strong. We're like cockroaches. We just don't want to die. Remember, you have to endure to the end. You have to die to be saved. So remember, nobody's come back, and he will heal us at the end. Connection. At the end, we'll be healed. So anybody causes us pain, seek no vengeance. He will right the wrong. He will pay back whoever took from you. Thief in the night. He said he would come and quickly pour out a just measure. So Hi, Bubby. Oh, my Bubby's coming up to say hi. So, all right, we're only gospel. You got to be doing gospel in here, man. Only gospel. I don't want to hear it. You know what happened to all the money from the Doge? You know, God. Get it? That's the February. Remember Lupercalia, the one with the wolf. We're already past that. So, oh my puppy, the dog god, God, reverse dog. So, electronic. What happened to all the money? How come nobody went to jail? Don't you kiss me. You lick your balls. Please don't kiss me. I love you, but don't thank you. I love you. So, you're an idiot. Thoughts on people who don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. So, shut up, man. You know that you're an idiot. Last time you tried to come here with your misogynist idiot. So, you are. You give men, the real men like myself, a bad name. So get out of here. You're a child. Grow up a little bit. Maybe you'd actually grow up with some, they canceled masculinity and apparently it rubbed off on you. Stole your masculinity there, bandit. What's the difference between having one eye, black eye, and two black eyes? You wouldn't answer that last time, you idiot. Remember, you can't learn a damn thing. You're an ass. You made an ass of yourself there. So don't worry. Let's see if Bandit can answer the question this time. Raccoon, thief in the night, What's the difference between having one black eye there, Bandit, and two black eyes? Let's see if you don't answer it. Connection. Don't answer my question. Answer the question, Bandit, or get out of here. You're a child. One bad apple upsets the whole apple cart. You don't have like a thief. He said he would come. So you don't have bandits. What's the difference between having one black eye and two black eyes? Answer my question. You want to answer? Have any questions asked? I'm a reconstructionist. Traffic crash was my business, not accidents, crashes. Okay, there's no such thing as an accident. Just like you didn't come in here for any, not by chance, or no chance or free will. So answer my question. Bandit, what's the difference there, raccoon, between having one black eye and two black eyes? Remember? What are you, Dora the Explorer? You know what I'm saying? Swipe or no swiping? Backpack. Get out of here, child. What's wrong with you? So, answer my question. You couldn't answer it and you made an ass of yourself last time. You came in here trying to be, where's one race, the human race. So remember, you can't pull your weight. I guarantee a woman to kick you into the left. You know what I'm saying? Cheek, two cheeks, the same hole, wings to the same dragon. That's all you're puffing. Remember? Queef, hot air, what hole you're coming out of, pit. So come on now, everybody's watching there, bandit. Just don't come in here anymore. Go away, mad Jezebel. Nobody's mad. You're just unclean truths. You're a viper. He said, don't hang out with people like you. So get away from me. Thank you. Shut up. You're an idiot. I'm talking to Bandit. Thank you. Get rid of the idiots. Let Bandit stand here. See if he's got any, last time he made a complete ass of himself. Couldn't even answer a question. You come in and ask a question, can't you want a question answer, you have to, it's called reciprocation, communication. It takes two to tango, right? So I miss my dog Tango, so don't make me go there. God, I was talking about there. You come interrupt with a question. You want to learn something, and ask somebody you can't learn. Quit making an ass of yourself. Don't ask questions. Remember, put your name at the top of the paper. Bandit, talking to you. Hello. Exit the class. Two girls in a cup. Leave your at the door. Come in as a dry sponge. You can take your crap and whatever, discern it after you leave. But answer my question or get out of here. You can't follow Sipple's instructions. This TikTok rot brain. Bandit has TikTok rot brain, brothers, sisters. Can't concentrate. Didn't get enough vitamins. Concentrate. Orange juice. See. Can't see what I'm saying. Can't even answer a simple question. So don't interrupt the chat unless you have some actual gospel or real questions. So thanks for coming in. Anybody else have a question other than Bandit's an idiot? He couldn't answer my question. He couldn't even put his name at the top of the paper. Remember, in school, I'm sure he couldn't concentrate like orange juice. OJ, maybe he sought vengeance. Not for me to say, hey, I've been there, done that. We've all been there. Maybe he's got the glove. Maybe he's already offed his wife and he's just coming in here like, Eminem, saying he's one thing and then smoking pole the whole time. So maybe he's a pole smoker. So I don't know. It's not for me to decide. Chooching on meat cigarettes. Maybe he's got one of them e-cigarettes. I don't know. Puff the Magic Dragon, remember? I don't know, hot air, maybe it's oil or whatever, glycol, whatever he's genetically modified. I guarantee you, I can already tell. So he couldn't even answer a simple question. One What's the difference between having one black eye and two? Simple math. He couldn't answer it. Remember, like a raccoon. So maybe he ran off with Dave. Dave's not here. He got swiped. Swipe or no swipe. He got swipe or no swiping. He got swiped across the nose with some magic nuts. Not grape nuts. Not D's nuts, but somebody's just the man's nuts crowd. Oh man, hope Dave never comes back, man. I don't want that guy in here. That was over the top, man. It was. He was tripping. Remember, people, things happen, and I've had some bad things happen. Like, look, I'm trying to move on, and I did talk to the cops today about Elijah again, but I don't let it run my life. I don't let it ruin me. That's not, people hurdle. I told you, we've seen people like that. People have maybe, somebody SA'd you, right? And that's not cool. That's not cool. That's not cool. And that's going to stick with you forever, but you can't let it, it's almost like these people who walk away from addiction. They're like, well, I'm 3,057 years from taking my last puff off a rose dick, a glass rose, right? 3,567 years later. Okay, I think you can let it go now. I mean, does anybody disagree on that? And I'm not against people having the date of sobriety and trying to walk away and setting goals and one day at a time from the beginning. But when you walk that far away from something, when you keep bringing that up, you kind of are still hanging on. And then I know a lot of that's what you do. You need to hold on to that sobriety and walk from that date and make sure you're not that person. But when the people get that far away from it, why are you still talking about that? I just got my 40th year of sobriety. Okay, I think it's over. We know you're sober. You have control of this. You can probably go to a party. People are drinking and smoking, and you could probably even have a drink at that point in time, right? One or two. It's moderation. That's, all things. It's not addiction is when obviously it overtakes and you can't moderate. It's every day, and it interrupts your normality, reality, couple days a week, I guess after a 5-day job when I don't really like punching the clock or whatever, a couple days, is not gonna, you don't do it at work, you don't show up all hammered or intoxicated or medicated or whatever you are, and you can do your job without interrupting, but people can't. They show up to work on that third day and nope, there you go. Well, the first day, and then they live like that and they can't. So that's addiction. So moderation in all things. So I don't understand or overstand why Dave just couldn't get over it. Now he said he confided in the ministry, but when I told him that's enough. We don't need to know all the, all the devils in the details, all the dirty details. He just kept going on and on and on and just couldn't seem to let it go. So I know people have issues. We all have them. We all fall short of the word, but rebuke is when Father, it doesn't matter. Remember, he hung out with a tax collector. I mean, he turned over and whipped. He got physical, like Olivia Newton-John, let's get, I don't mean to go there. I just did, but whatever. I shouldn't, but I did. But he did. He turned over the money changer tables and he whipped the people because they were feeing, and he hates taxes. Matthew was a tax collector, okay? Paul murdered, he murdered Christians for the church, for a living. I mean, as a mass, basically, did it in mass. So, well, mass A, that's Catholic Church. So, so we've all come from, a past, but what are we doing with our life now? Or you keep tripping on that same hurdle. And so it's, like I said, if something that's, you've had somebody violate your body, I do think that, that forcing yourself on somebody that's up there with just, I mean, I'm not saying it would be better to take their life, but at least they wouldn't have to live with that, what you did to them the whole life. That's a thing that sticks with you. Not everybody can deal with the same. Some people, it ruins the rest of their life for the whole life. They can never get over it. And I'm not bad. I just, people need more people like, I think myself to tell people like that, okay, well, you're over. Let's move on. You're awesome. You did it. Good job. Okay. What do you need? Patted on the back. You need some, sense of accomplishment. You did it. Now, good. You're doing fine. Everything's, so just so support, to show them, it's, you're using it as a cane. It's something to lift yourself up, move on. And so I'm not saying that you have to ever forget the things, some of the horrible things that happened to us, brothers and sisters. It's really what defines us. But when we, like Dave, who just was very explicit about somebody thing that happened to him in high school. I mean, he said at first that he was gay. He brought up the fact of homosexuality and brought it up in that, and it ended up being some guy just, he got held down as a kid and hazed, and that's still horrible. But this wasn't a grown person. This was kids that did this to me. It happened as a child, not a grown man that, and it could still, when kids do that to kids, it doesn't take away the memory from a child. I do think that this is something that Dave really happened to him. I don't think he was lying, but man, it was truly a learning experience. So for me and for everybody, hopefully in the room, connections, putting a little skit, little comedy to it. And it doesn't hurt to have, he should be able to be like that. And that's when you truly are over something, when you can have a little comical about something that even happens to you, even the hard things that, you become not hardened by your heart, but you can, callous, but you can even laugh at it, sometimes, and look at it. And, you know, I think didn't he say he was in his 60s or something like that? Connection? He was something like that. I think he was in his 60s or something. I think he said he was 61 or 62. I don't think, he wasn't a young man by any means. So this is an old man worrying about somebody who caught him under the bleachers and rubbed on his nasal, uh, you know, rise and he got teabagged. Okay, he got teabagged, guys. You know what it is to be teabagged. Somebody teabagged him. I've seen that happen to people. That's not nice. But I grew up in a big school, and that was the least thing you had to worry about was being teabagged. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so let's just call it what it is. I didn't call it one day. I didn't say that one time connection, and you didn't either. And then I'm glad because I knew at any minute you were going to say it. I'm like, oh, God, please, connection, don't say that word in here because you won't let it go. You know what I'm saying? I already seen you were on it because he just wasn't getting it. You know what I'm saying? It was okay to come in here. It was okay to talk about it. It was okay to confide in the ministry. It's okay because we have horrible things happen to us and talk about it. But when I told him, okay, that's a little explicit. But then when I found out it was just but then he kept going, guys. See what I'm saying? After we found out that it was something happened probably in like junior high school, it sounded like to me, it wasn't even like, I don't even know, there might not even been them hair on them balls and some of them kids in junior high school might have had some of them little peachy fuzz, like like a little peach or something, but not in junior high school. You didn't have some stinky man's, whatever. And he did this and then, made you drink some man chowder. I'm not trying to be explicit here, but this was a hazing incident where he got teabagged and he was in his 60s bringing up homosexuality, thinking he was gay or something like that, guys. It was a trip, man. So, but it wrecks people. Some people just, can't, we're all born a little different, brothers, sisters. So I wasn't, but I couldn't have it in here. I couldn't, it just wasn't, something that, you just couldn't get over it. That's kind of a bummer to see people, things like that happen in their life because, you don't live here forever and you need to try to, that's what forgiveness is about. So it sounds like he couldn't forgive that person nor himself. And he doesn't enter, and Father's not done, I guess, rebuking him or whatever. He just, or it's a bunch of BS, but I don't think that it was, guys. I really think this happened to this guy. And, it was a little bit of a lesson learned. So when people come here and confide in the ministry, I feel bad about sending them away, but we did as long as we could. We could, hung like a set of testes will be connection here. We rubbed on the subject a little bit. Let's leave it alone. Oh my gosh. This day has not been a good day, man. It has not been my better days. I don't know why, but it's okay. It's not the worst day. But I would have, I missed 2 calls out of, and I knew it and I shouldn't, the minute I set my phone down, the minute I walked out, this has happened now. But it's okay. I'll get it figured out. I know what I need to do. We've got so much going here with this house deal. It's a little overwhelming me, but I'll figure it out. Like I said, I was hoping the electric company would call to me today. Some of the unknown is what I don't like. Once I get past this figuring out where the house is going to go. I think things will go a little bit smoother from that point on. So a little bit of an issue with the house that I got, but I don't think again that it's going to hold me up. It's not like the first time this house, it has a serial number on it. It has they have there's a way they do it different in this county. What I got to deal with, like the county didn't call me today. I called them multiple times. It's okay, but you think their tax people would call you. Uh, so I didn't get a call back from them today. I was really hoping that I didn't get a call from the new construction, the electric company today. And the calls that I did get back that I needed to send the paperwork to establish the motorhome ownership, and I couldn't. I for some reason, Father made me step away for just a second both times, and the first time I actually couldn't answer it, and because I was was about ready to go live. I'm like, don't go live, and I said, that's all right. And as soon as I did, sure enough, and then couldn't answer it, and then I stepped outside to make something to eat, and then I made my food and dropped it on the damn floor. So it's just been one of those days, man. So I threw it back up in the pan, but it's awful crunchy, and it's just kind of frustrating. I have to eat dirt. I've done that before, but it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to just throw it away. So, yeah, just would have liked to gotten a call today. I want to try to get these unknowns taken care of here. I want to push forward. I want to see past. I'm not doing things in a hurry or in. I can't right now. I don't have that ability. Just don't have it in me. I can do things at a steady pace, but so I have to stop sometimes. And just don't. It's defeating for a veteran. So I'm not trying to be prideful, but just for somebody that was taught that the body, the mind is stronger than the body, and it tells the body to shut up and just keeps going. So if you have a stronger mind, you can keep going. So the body is just a vessel. So your spirit is your mind. It's your temple is what it's here. So Father can lift you and carry you when you wouldn't think He's a way maker, when there's no way, lift you and heal you, and to the end of each day. And I know that's what He's doing with me today. He's giving me the strength because I just don't have. I mean, I went and talked with the sergeant here in the local sheriff's office about my son and his missing persons, and he said, "Yeah, it's been a while because he was with his wife, and I kind of, like I said, I just talked to him about, why isn't anybody looking for him? This is most people have somebody look for their child when they're missing, but nothing has been done about this, and brought up the fact that they didn't, do it right the first time when I did report them, and then made a serious mistake, and I haven't sued them. I mean, that should be brought to the feds and should be the Josephine County Sheriff's Office should be investigated by the federal government for what they did to me and my daughter that day. I reported her body raped, and there was 40 pounds of silver and gold there too, and that's a deny for call for service. And I brought that up with the sergeant here in town that I got denied a call for service, and it doesn't matter about the shiny dirt. It was the fact that I had to go call the law on my son. They would have arrested him that day. He would have been arrested that day. They may have shot him, and I said, please don't shoot him. But my daughter's there, and I'm more concerned about her body being there and this man doing something because he's lying about everything he's told me. So nothing's being done about it because Father wants it that way, but it's hard to wake up in this flesh every day. I don't like being alive at all, and I'm never going to off myself in any way, shape, or form, because to be saved, you have to endure to your last breath. Otherwise, you got to come do it again. So if anybody's unalive themselves, doesn't follow this covenant. You have to endure to the end. That's salvation, to be saved. The ones that have their names called out, that's what salvation, to be saved. You have to pick up, lifted, beginning point and an ending point, and healed over here. He tells us you must endure to the end to be saved. So can't step out of the game earlier, no matter how hard it makes it. So kind of back to Dave, he's just going to make it difficult. You just got to move on. I don't really talk about this anymore. I did everything I could for my son. That's what I told him. And even today, as I said to the sheriff, I'm going to bring it up, when I have, don't ask me how my day is going and then me don't want a truthful answer. This is the guy who could do something about it. This is the guy that also could probably go arrest, or get with the elected sheriff and go arrest all these politicians that are doing the things to me, uh, you're gonna live and gonna like it. Yeah, whether you like it or not. That's the word. You're gonna live and you're gonna like it whether you like it or not. Because Father said, I do this, I don't make a mistake. I do all things after my own counsel. Father did it. I do all these things for my own pleasure. So, Father, that's what I said to the cop today. Either my son's exactly where Father wants him to be, you know, or he's gone, And if he's there, it going, my dad, I know my dad would never give up on me. I said, it's been a long time. I can't let go. I'm a dad, and I know I love the word and I love Father more than I love my son. But, you know, it's hard to wake up every day knowing that he's out there somewhere. And he said, yeah, I know. We've looked at it. It's crazy. He just went completely missing. His social. He brought up, they have been looking, brothers, sisters. So he did. He brought up some points. So, and I did, because as a dad, if you had a missing kid, you would want to know where he's at if he was suffering, right? If he's somewhere right now, because the last thing he told me was he loved me. Even the conditions didn't matter, whatever happened at that point, but it doesn't make any sense. And even Adriana, my daughter's social media, all hers, there's just both of them have gone missing. And they should have went and looked for Adriana that day. They dropped her charges because they arrested her, and she would have had a massive lawsuit. That's what made no sense to me, is if Adriana wouldn't have filed a lawsuit, my son and her, they would have dropped my son's charges with the quickness, knowing how bad a mistake they made, and it'd have been all over. And that's what makes me think something nefarious happened to them, because it covers up their whatever. And they've gone past the statute now of limitations. So I don't know how that works, but I know Josephine County should be held accountable by the federal government for what they did that day, and so should Paul Palmer for what he did. And that's why I told that to the law enforcement officer today, when the law enforcement officer called, or when Paul Palmer, the attorney, said, hey, I'm counsel, this is my counsel, I'm calling for discovery, and I want this CAD call, and they wouldn't give it to him. You should have went to the feds. He should have taken it to the feds. That's what I told him today. That should have went over, I'm a veteran, that should have went over his head, chain of command. Right there, should have went over his head. He said, I know. I said, well, so that's why you asked. That's how my day is going. So I just can't sit here and I'm okay. I said, I'm just a dad. Remember, I'm not a bad guy. I'm not violent. He said, he's known for some years. I've never known you to be like that, because I'm not violent. I have a First Amendment right to redress grievances. And that's what I told him. I'm just a dad who was speaking up. You guys said he didn't do his probation, and now I'm on probation because you said he didn't do his probation, man. This life sucks. I'm thrown back into the same den of wolves that potentially won't listen to my son and the ones who got him killed, because they wouldn't do anything. It's the probation that this is all over. So I hold them 100% responsible, and I have to sit there and face them on a daily, or not daily, but, whatever, until I can get myself off some unsupervised. I'm on felony supervised probation. So thank you, Father, for that, for just trying to help my son, and then have everything stolen from me, and then the gold and silver that I should have taken, but I didn't. So, but I moved on, brothers, sisters, right? I don't talk about it every day in here, and I'll wreck the ministry. And I don't think that I don't think about it. I don't think that it's constantly, when I don't go to bed, when I don't wake up, that it's not. You have a son out there that could be suffering somewhere, thinking that, man, my dad's not going to give up on me. I'd want him to know that I haven't given up on him, man. I haven't, and even if he's mad at me, I don't care. I still love him. He's my son. And if that's what I said to the cop today, if he wasn't a good young man and he didn't done his probation, I wouldn't be standing up for him. So I'll take the heat. That's what a parent would do, or I don't know. I didn't get no instruction book. I was a single parent for, almost 8 years. Took me a long time to just get, the custody of him and get him away from a situation where he could be a child and not do the adult things that he was being subjected to on a regular basis. So it's okay, but I sure miss him a lot. And I'm glad that when somebody asks me, is he still not technically missing? Is he not still technically missing in court? They haven't. Yeah, he's missing. There was a court date. Remember, he didn't show up. That's the first time. And they told me he went missing in September, and he was on the phone in October. And then he had a trial in December. he summons me to his trial. Why would they summons me when he went missing in September, if in his trial in December, if he was on the phone in October? The whole thing stinks, man. I'm never going to forget the details. I have to live with them every day and just leave it alone. Put all my faith in Father and hope that he's alive somewhere, not suffering. And I know he is. He's got to be suffering as much as I am. So probably more. I can't. That's what I told the cop today. I can't imagine what it's like to be my son. He did all this stuff over probation, and now he has to die by the threat of a gun. That's his only option, by the threat of a gun. I wouldn't want to be him right now. That sucks. So whatever. I don't hide nothing from nobody, brothers and sisters. I won't live this life forever. It's just a temporary flash in the pan, and it'll end someday. The pain, the misery, the suffering, the tribulation, it'll all end, and I'll be without this flesh, and this is the one that's the burden, is the flesh. So remember, I even said it at my court date, remember, in front of the judge before they put me in jail. Remember, you have anything to say? I didn't plead for my defense. I just said, remember, I have reported my son missing and murdered in this courtroom over and over again. I didn't plead for myself. I didn't even make a statement. I said nothing in the courtroom. I just let them throw the book at me. I didn't have any witnesses. They violated my Sixth Amendment, the right to call witness in my favor. Elijah was my witness. Adriana was my witness. That trial should have never happened. Never. That trial, that's called remember, it's the trial should have called manifest necessity, because a star witness was not there. Look into it right now. Look up manifest necessity. I still, to this day, could probably pursue this through lawsuit, but I'm not going to. I don't want to spend my life doing this. I'm taking my time in building the ministry. F all that and doing it the hard way. Remember, I don't get $1 million donations every year to the ministry. I made $100 in 5 months on the ministry, and they're going to take $30 of that, so I'll make $10 a month on the ministry. So I don't get rich in here. $10 a month don't pay any bills for me. So that don't get me to get town and back, the little town I live. So that's okay. I don't want anybody to pay this ministry. That's why I don't care to go make my money off of lawsuit off the taxpayer. So I'll just grind it out. So maybe it'll just make me die sooner. And it doesn't matter, because I'm not going to die until my day of death was written billions and millions of years ago. So I don't live in fear of my day of death. I don't walk in front of, grenades and smoke. Well, never mind. I guess, moving trains or bullets or whatever, if I can help it. I try not to just put myself out there like that, but I will stand up because I'm a veteran. I serve this, right of the people. So yeah. And they did. So that's what, when I do think that when I go to my appeal, then I'm going to bring this up. Say, hey, look, my rights were violated, so you have to drop this immediately. You can't even have this appeal. You already violated my right. This can't be double jeopardy. So the judge should have called that, and now you're So, and what it does is that's, like I said, there are so many things. If the federal government would come look at this case, they would realize that the every right that I have had either taken from me or violated, from my first, my second, my fourth, my fifth, my sixth, my eighth, my 14th, all my rights have been violated, stripped from me. I don't have rights like most people have. Remember, they took them from me because I used my right to address grievances. I stood up against perverted law and said, hey, this isn't correct. I had the right of affirmative defense. Look up the right of affirmative defense. Allows me to protect myself from illegal prosecution. That's all I've ever done. That's all Elijah's ever done. I wasn't violent. I just told him, hey, I have the right to protect him. You're trying to legally prosecute him. Look it up. Look up the word affirmative defense. That's your right to protect yourself from illegal prosecution. The right to justification, excuse defense. It excuses and justifies your civil and criminal actions in trial, which they didn't consider in my trial. My actions were justified. I could protect my son. That's all I was doing. I was providing him a sanctuary. You can't arrest him. You need to look into his probation hours. He already had done these not once, but twice. Double jeopardy is going to come up twice, because not only did he do his probation once, but he did it twice. So they double jeopardied him on his probation. All this stuff with Elijah is insane. And if this ever got looked at by an outside agency, I told you, it would put almost everybody in here in jail. It would. I still feel like it would, but I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think anything will ever happen in this lifetime, and I think I'm just gonna have to go with this and just live with it. And I have to be the one that suffers, and so does my son, and so does my daughter, and everybody else that was involved is going to get live their life like it never even happened to them. And that's just the way life is. Life is not Burger King. You can't always have it your way, and that's what it is. Yeah, see what I'm saying? I already know what I'm doing. That's what I'm saying. I've been pleading this. Remember, I did videos about all this, guys. Remember? So went in there without any witnesses in my favor. That's a Sixth Amendment violation. Under the Sixth Amendment right of trial, you have the right to call witnesses in your favor. Evidence, bring in evidence to discovery. It's called suppression of evidence. The right of discovery, suppression of evidence. It's crazy. They can't suppress evidence at your trial, and they did. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. They dropped Elijah's or Adriana's charges for the same thing they charged me and held me on uh held me for 14 months for the same thing they dropped her charges on, for telling she said no go and I said don't stop. Same thing, or whatever words. I just used words. I didn't physically stop my son from doing anything. I didn't supply him a car. They said I supplied him a vehicle. It was his vehicle, not mine. I was charged and got sent to jail for supplying him a vehicle, which they know was his vehicle. It was his vehicle, not my vehicle, and they know that. But they said I supplied him a vehicle, and I sat in jail for that and paid fines for that and was charged with that, hindering prosecution when I didn't stop Elijah. Elijah could have stopped the car if he wanted to stop the car. That's all my attorney said in court. That's all he said. Hey, he could have, if, you know, he's an adult. He didn't break the law. None of these, or he didn't break the law. To break the law, you have to prove that he stopped his son. He didn't physically stop him. He just told him don't stop. He didn't. He has a video. Here's the video that the state is showing, right, against him. The state brought evidence against me, but my attorney didn't bring any evidence in the trial. So he violated my Sixth Amendment, the right to call witness, the right of discovery, the suppression of evidence. So my own paid attorney, which I remember, I put up all those precious metals, everything I'd worked for all my retirement, everything that could have paid off this ministry. When precious metals went up, I could have done that, but nope, it all got taken from me. Remember? So first round, and then I had to pay that second round that I got. I had to get that, pay for the attorney, and then look at the price of metals went way up. And I didn't even have as much as I did the first time. I had more gold, obviously, a little bit more gold, but it's okay. Father doesn't make mistakes once again. So um, I just have to live with brothers, sisters, and every day know that my son is suffering somewhere, or my daughter, and nobody cares. But hey, at least when I talked to the law enforcement, they said, yeah, they're just nothing. They're missing. There's nothing on their account. There's nothing. Nothing shows. Father has erased them from the map, which makes me believe they're not here. Neither of them. Why would neither of them contact me to tell me that they hate me, they love me, go to hell, you suck, you got my husband, more charges, now he has to sit there, if it was Adriana, why nothing? They have things here at this house. Remember, they were moving here. They were moving to the property down 3 miles down the road off of Owens. They weren't not going to move. They were moving here. They were putting in their notice at their house. They made big moves. They sold all the vehicles he bought a Jeep. He got rid of all those little fast little cars and bought a 4-wheel drive vehicle to get down this driveway, be out here in this valley. He made massive changes. Why would he just run away and never come back ever again? So it'd be nice when this life is over and I don't have to think about this anymore. And I don't want to leave my son behind, but this is a hard burden to carry with me every day. I hate this. I hate it. I hate it so much. Father won't give me anything, won't even give me just a glimmer of anything, that they're okay, they're dead, they're alive, they hate me, they love me, just leave us alone, you suck, anything, nothing. I've been nothing, 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 nothing. But this daily menace of, well, I got to put it in Father's hands, but I still, as a father, fight the or dad, not a father, to know that he might be suffering somewhere, holding on to the fact that I know my dad, he would never give up on me, somehow, some way. It just makes no sense to me. So I can't be the person to let it bring me down, brothers, sisters. That's why I've let it go on this ministry. I don't talk about it anymore. So, but I think about it every day. It terrorizes me. It menaces me. Father just puts me through this torture. So, um, but I did hear from law enforcement, and they have put, whatever they can put out on him, and nothing. There's nothing there. There's just nothing there, brothers, sisters. It's so strange. They just both disappeared off the map, just gone. So, and then Father terrorizes me daily because he doesn't give me anybody to help me. You know, just I have to do this all on my own, all alone. Like this house and everything, it's just so hard to be the only one that cares about him, and then not have anybody to talk to about it. So I don't have any friends or family, so it gets difficult sometimes. So that's why I do spend time in here, because I don't have any other relief valve. So it does bottle up. Like I said, imagine being a dad that can't find your child. Nobody will look for him, and you knew where he was at one point. That's what I brought up to the cop today. I said, but I knew where he was, and you guys wouldn't go look for him. That sucks. I did the investigation. I found my son and my daughter. I know they were there. I don't know that Marshall lied to me. They were there. They were there. They were there, man. I'm telling you, they were there that day, and he lied to me. And because everything he said was a lie to me, and then they're gone now. I went back there because they wouldn't look for him, and everything was gone from that multi, whatever $1 million operation, whatever they had going there, and then just turned into a ghost town. My heart just sunk when I got there. It was like the only lead I had to my son, and they wouldn't listen to me, and now it's just gone. So um, the guy changed his account name, cut his hair, the whole just. He's probably gone now too. Probably he's gone. He's got passport. He's probably in another country. So, um, but thanks for listening, because guys, I don't bring this up much anymore. And if you've been following this channel, this is something that it's been 2 years since I've seen my son, almost next month, and this is hard to deal with every day without talking about it ever. It just bottles up. Like I said, I feel um, the only relief I get from this pain in my body and this suffering is to go to bed, and I wake up terrorized in the night by it, because I feel like I'm not doing something to be looking for him as a dad. Like, I know my dad wouldn't give up on me, wondering where in the hell is he? Why hasn't he called? Why hasn't he wrote me? Why hasn't he? The last thing, if he's facing 7 years in prison, is probably worried about breaking a no contact order. Even with the probation officer that said that he could, what do I do? I said, what do I do if he calls? He said, don't be a probation officer. I think what he's saying is don't just talk to him. He already told me that I could if he called. I talked to the sheriffs. They said, talk to him. Try to find out where he's at. Everybody was being so far now, pretty cool about it. But, no leads, cold case now. And so I'm terrorized every day knowing that I knew where he was at, and I tried to get the cops to go look for him, and they wouldn't go look for him. And now I just have to just live with it, and but I would want him to know that I never gave up on him. I didn't stop looking for him. I just said today and talked to the cops about it again. How's your day going? Well, where's my son? I'd like to know where my son is. You're the law. You're the ones that's supposed to be out there. This is the county that supposedly originally he didn't do his work. That somebody help me, please. I'm just a dad. I have to go through years of probation now and have a record. I didn't have a record before this, and be staying with this, and it just, you know, it's a battle. So thanks for dealing with it, or dealing with me for the long time that I had to go through it. And appreciate that I don't talk about it every day. Come in here and ruin the channel because it's all I can talk about. I could make this channel uh, all just about that, you know. Um, I brought that up today. Truth, I brought that up today. seriously, brother, I brought that up today to the sergeant. I said, look, I have a problem because his wife was a law enforcement. I said, I was a law enforcement. It was different. I said, I'm a veteran. Okay. I said, I was willing to lose my life. And I said, I want you to listen to me, please. And he sat there and he listened to me. He's really cool about it. And I said, listen, I have a problem with what's going on today. So I said, a firefighter, like your wife, is a female, runs into the building and saves your wife or your house or your car or your dog, or hell, they might even run in and save your gerbil, right? Because do they think about officer, or do they think about safety? I said, all you guys think about now is officer safety. I said, I don't care about officer safety. And I'm not trying to downplay officer safety because, complacency will get you killed. But what about public safety? What about public safety? I said, why are we public enemy number one now? I said, I want you to think about that. And he goes, all right. And I said, okay, well, please, you need to pass that on. We're not the enemy. And I said, your training trains you that way now. That, you refer to as a civilian, you're not even in law enforcement. You can't use that term civilian. Well, did you serve in the armed forces, in the military? Why would you call somebody a civilian? You've been trained militantly, and you're not supposed to be acting. You're supposed to be serving and not worried about your safety, willing to give your life, like running into a building, whether you're a man or a woman or a veteran, willing to give their life. So I brought it up today, brother. I did. Hallelujah, Father. Thank you for giving me the strength. And he listened to me. And his wife was sitting right there, and she was a cop too. Prior, she not anymore, but she sat there and listened to me too. Actually, he kind of walked away, and she got up a little bit closer to me and had a couple of things to say to, whatever, made a comment or two, because she knew I was being sincere. Like I said, I'm like, dude, I'm just a dad, dude. Come on, man. Ask me where I'm at, and how I'm doing, and not get the answer. I'm going to give you the answer. So, but I did tell him today, brother, his father is my witness. I brought up officer safety. Okay. It's a joke, man. He needs to be public safety. And I'm not saying they can't keep officer safety, but remember, you never heard a song called The Firefighter, have you? Because they run into a building and they don't think about it. Don't matter if it's a male or a female. That's why this bandit come in here being a misogynist. Women are the same way. They will lose their life for the service for the people and not think twice about it. Go run right into moving bullets, brothers, sisters. Seriously, I don't think women should be on the front line. I don't think we should put our women in the meat grinder at all. I don't really agree with any kind of military. I told you, I rebuke my tour service. I don't like what I did. It haunts me daily. I already have enough PTSD from just growing up on the streets of Los Angeles, joining the military, become a law enforcement officer. I have seen enough death and blood and have done enough. I don't want any of that in my life. And that's why I don't know why Father brought a whole SWAT team against me and blew my windows out of this cabin and made me breathe tear gas. And I'm wrecked. I am scarred for life. My eye is never going to be the same. My hearing is not, I told you, it's just everything's different. They're going to do an MRI on me, brother, sister. They're very concerned. My body's not healing. I'm having some serious physical issues. And I'm not trying to sit there and, act like it ain't happening. I can tried for too long to run for this. I'm not in my 20s anymore. My body should already been healed from dropping that beam, and breaking my back. And she had to look at my hip too and find out that, watch, my hip's probably broken too. I told you that, guys, that I knew I broke my back, but she's going to look at my face because I don't know if she looked at this SWAT raid, but she looked at something on the internet, and she's like, we're calling for an MRI. You're fit, you shouldn't be having these issues that you're having. So this is way more complicated than a normal, so, I'm trying to do the best I can. I have a lot of stress on my plate. The worst thing that I can do to myself is stress myself out mentally, though. You know that? Don't matter the breaks, the contusions, the fractures, the compression, all this, that doesn't, the worst thing I can do to my body is stress myself out, get myself with that, those endorphins and that fight or flight type of, stress. That's not good for you. So I'm thankful for Father, and he keeps me level headed, and I hate my life, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm not going to hurt anybody else. I have no ill will. If Marshall's the one who took Elijah's life, whatever. I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to do anything in Marshall. You just have to live with it for the rest of his life, and he'll all see at judgments. Pretty selfish to do over some freaking precious metals, some money that he was owed, because everything makes me think that when Marshall told me your son fought with me the whole way home, that's when Marshall did something to him. That's why Elijah's been missing for as long as he has. You know what I'm saying? There's something up with that. So um, I think it's over freaking money, over the precious metals, the gold and silver that I gave to him to bail him out. He held that against Elijah. And what I think is Elijah told him to give it back to me. And Marshall said no. And Elijah insisted on giving it back, and they got into it. And Marshall's always armed. And I think he unalived my son. And I reported that, brothers, sisters. I reported that. How long ago now? So I remember, if I just would have spread taken the precious metals and listened to my son, none of this would ever happen. None of this would ever happen. If I just would have taken the precious metals, like my son said, and went on the road like I said I was going to do when he was 18 and not now I was 25, he would still potentially be alive. I have to live with the fact that I'm responsible for his death. That's what makes it even harder. That I've shared with you guys in here before, but that's what makes it even harder. He's like, Dad, take that stuff. It's going to get taken. And there he was talking to Marshall probably that day about, hey, return that to my dad. You know, that's his. He worked for that. You know, if you have a bill with me, I'll settle that. Marshall said, no, you're paying your bill with your dad. He's your dad. And Elijah said, no. And Marshall unalived him, and that's why Adriana went missing, because he lured her down there because he knew after I talked to him and said, well, one day, Marshall, this case is going to end. I'm going to talk to Adriana. You said it. I have messages. You said you had my precious metals. You said some of them were spent, but you said you had them. Now I want, where are they at? You said, now you're saying she took them. I'm going to talk to her one day. And was probably a serious mistake to say, because it probably ended up costing Adriana's life. My words ended up him luring Adriana down there going, oh, crap, I already spent those precious metals. She doesn't have them. I told him that. And one day this case is going to be over, and he is going to talk to her and find out that, he's got such a small life. I know he ain't got nobody. That's why when I went to jail, he wouldn't let me talk. He wouldn't put money on anybody else's books. I only know a couple other people or phone number. I can only call him. It's like he would not allow me. That's why he said to me in jail, your son quit taking my phone calls like that early in the case. And so well, what's going on with Adriana? Why wouldn't she call you? Ask about Elijah. Well, I don't know. Neither of them, I haven't talked to him. And then he ends up telling me that my son ended up buying the truck back from him that he bought. He said he didn't talk to him. And then I asked when my daughter's car was parked in the place where my son's car was parked. Now that truck that he had sold to him, my daughter's car was right there. I'm like, well, where's Adriana? Well, she sold the car to me. So, yeah, I'm beside myself. I think that Adriana was lured down there by Marshall, and I found her car there. And that's if Josephine County would have went there, they would have discovered that both Elijah and Adriana were on that property, either alive or up in the caves, up behind them in the gold mines, unalived, or I don't know. I don't know. Would he have them working? Would they both be working off the debt? It wasn't that much debt. It was 10,000, and then his bill was 25, and I put up the precious metals for that. So why would he, make him work for more than a couple months and let him go? I think there was an altercation between Marshall and Elijah. So he told me that he could hide him in the gold mines. That's what I reported to the Josephine County Sheriff's Office, that I could, that's where I felt like his body was at. I showed you guys that. I told you that over and over. So just having to let this go every day, it's the worst thing ever in my life. It'd be one thing maybe if I could keep it alive, brothers and sisters, but I got to let it go. So thanks for letting me air it out a little bit, because it's been a long time. You know what I'm saying? I think since I've talked about it, I don't talk about it very often, but I live with this nightmare every day, just so you know, it doesn't go away. Imagine having, like I said, a son and a daughter that you feel totally responsible for their bodies being harmed, and you did, and you report them over and over and over, and nobody will do anything. I still to this day don't know why the federal government is not involved and done some kind of discovery in this case, come in and do some kind of investigation. I've called the Department of Justice. I've leaned out to you as this ministry for more than a year and asked all you guys to call, because I'd already called everyone on the list multiple times, and I just don't get through. So I leaned out on this ministry to try to help me get a civil lawsuit attorney. I didn't ask you to pay for it. The civil lawsuit attorney doesn't want money. I'd even offered to give you guys a percentage of a lawsuit because I didn't want to file lawsuits, but nobody did. So I let it go. I figured somebody could use some millions of dollars. I don't want it. I don't want money. I don't care about material things. I just wanted to go on the road. Remember where I'm going? I don't need that much money. I don't live like most people live. So, I go to Vietnam and live for $1 a day. I go to Ecuador and live for $5 for a whole day and eat 3 meals and have, it's $500 to live, a month there. Dang, man. Oh my gosh. Guys, I didn't eat much. I think I'm going to heat up that spaghetti that I made. It's got dirt in it, but whatever. I need to eat something. My body's. I'm going to heat it up a little bit. Make some. I can do a little bit of crunch in the world. Not the end of the world. So, all right. Thanks for letting me air it, guys. But I'm a veteran, so I feel like, my right to speak up was something that's what a veteran does. You serve the country, the right of the people to freedom of speech, right? Congress shall establish no law prohibiting the exercise free speech of the press, the right to peacefully assemble, the right to redress grievances, the right to form militias, right? That's all I was doing, just using my First Amendment. And as a veteran, they crushed me and feel like that the death of my son and daughter, their missing bodies, has everything to do with my activism, because I have been on YouTube for 12, 13 years, because I do point out the faults of our government. I know I used to work for the government, so why would I not do that? We're supposed to. We're not just supposed to let people continue to be corrupt. And that's why we can have politicians in these EpiPen files, and everybody, the whole world knows it, that we have a ring of pedos and that are ruling class. No, it's the pedo classes. The whole world says that, but nobody in America cares about it. No wonder I'm getting crushed. There is no law in this order in this country. Well, look at what they did to a veteran like me that served your right. They just crushed me and took my son and daughter and killed them. And nobody cares. Nobody's even come to help me. Never once have I got any help with this. Oh, I leaned out and asked, swallowed my pride because I don't have any of that. And still, I didn't get any help. No, I did at the time, in the moment when the things were going on. I had people calling, trying to get him to stop. They hit his dad's, actually they did in ministry way back at Predestined for Light. We had people literally calling. YouTube evidence, it says it in my discovery. So, but after everything happened, everybody just dropped off. So it was crazy. Like, remember Leah, she's going to help me, all these people, and then they all just disappeared. It's like, man, wow, just got ghosted by everybody. So I feel like my family always did that to me too. They ghost me like that, set me up for failure. And anytime I try to, that's why it's hard for me to not regress and pull back and not ask for help and just try to do it on my own, because I get burnt when I ask for help. People take advantage of my kindness. So, but that's okay. It doesn't stop me. I'm not going to be calloused by the world, not stop giving no matter what. So I can hopefully just people see something from this and take something from it. Maybe people did and learn something, and Father's not makes no mistakes, never has and never will. So nothing in this case didn't happen exactly the way that he wants it. I'm glad that I know that, because otherwise I think I would have gotten myself mentally in a place where I'd just be so depressed I just wouldn't talk to anybody more. I'd shut the channel down. I wouldn't talk to anybody, and that would be it. I could figure out a way to pay my bills. I don't have that, I've taken care of myself. Um, and so I have bills still, just like anybody else, but they're not overbearing. I mean, it is a bit of a burden when you don't have any income, when you serve the country. I don't get veterans benefits. I don't get Social Security. I don't get disability. I don't get nothing. Never took care of my son for 8 years. Was a single parent. Now I've got a single dime of child support, no child support arrears, no nothing. I had to work for what I had. All messed up, back messed up. A lot of issues having, and still just did it. Didn't just grind it out, and then feel like somebody come in, oh, let me help you, and then feel like they're going to do something and then pull back. So it's okay. Father in Army does that with everything. Anytime I ever get to know somebody, it don't take long, and then they turn cheek on me. So, but not that, I end up being the bad guy because I point out, and that's fine. I'll be the bad guy. Always have been. Always have been. I'm the villain. Family is they'll talk to me, but they never did like me. Never did. Not my blood. They're not my family. The family's my brothers and sisters in the narrow way. So, anyways, I'm glad that I have history brother sister to come in and, like I said, be a little bit of a relief valve to talk about it, because I would never wish this to any of you that have children. If you're a parent, to have to not be able to look for your kid, knowing that he's suffering. Like I said, he wasn't a good kid. And he's a grown ass man now and didn't want somebody, didn't need the help. I wouldn't have helped him if he wasn't absolutely 100%, in need and actually could use it. And I don't want to say deserving because I don't like that word. I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. It was all over some clerical error, pretty much. So, what a nightmare, man. I'll be so glad when my life ends out of this flesh, because I know I'm an eternal being and I don't die and go. The flesh is what I lose. I don't die. My spirit stays forever. Um, because the spirit is eternal, and eternal is like fire, it never ends. That's why they do their eternal fire, their Roman games, because they know Father is fire. Father dies and rebirths continuously. That's eternity, brothers and sisters, and when you can figure that out, you can figure out time. Let's eat some spaghetti. All right, I'm gonna eat some spaghetti. Like I said, don't mind me. It's a little crunchy. I dropped it on the ground, but first bite already a little grit in there. But okay. Dang. Let's get over it. So what's up? What are you doing to combat this disgusting, filthy, ruling class that obviously has no, they're not going to take care of you. They're not going to save you. They're not going to come and fix anything. You notice everything the government puts his hands on, they wreck. I live off the grid. I live in a township that has no flashing yellow light. I raise food. I make my own power. I raise livestock. I grow a garden. I put up things for a rainy day. I make solutions to the problems. I don't just bitch about things all day long. For some of you in there that might think I'm in here just, pitching a bitch. There is solutions. It's called evolution. And evolution isn't growing another thumb or a kickstand to sit there and lean on dumb. Evolution is going around the system, evolving and creating your own system. Evolution is species die down and other new species pop up, not evolve. So, not all species die down, not all species die off. That's extinction. And extinction doesn't mean everything dies. That's not what extinction is. That's not what evolution is. Most people, those two words, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So I don't like being in a world where people don't know what evolution. They know what revolution is. Fight, 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 fight. Put a shooter like a revolver and fight. Evolution means you go around the system. But, a family could sustain themselves on a small flock of chickens, brothers, sisters. Truly, in some hard times, protein and chicken, yeah. So become the system, become the supply chain. If you had to shut your All right, what's going on? Put a 5x5 in the chat. I'm going to end the stream. I want some contact with you guys. Either talk to me or I'll end the stream. I'm not going to sit here and talk to myself. I'm already talking with food in my mouth, so. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. We'll start simply. I put olives. I put olives in there. I don't hardly ever put olives in my made spaghetti. I don't hardly eat spaghetti because I don't hardly eat pasta. All right, I guess we're banned. No, 5x5. Give me a 5x5. I'm going to end the stream. We can't get somebody to make a comment here. Come on, YouTube. Help me out here. Work with me. Speak it into existence. There we go. All right, we got something. All right, as long as one person can hear me, the other rest of you guys can kick rocks. You can leave now. Thank you. Done. See you. Bye. Alotia is in here. Truther. Truth. Bud. Wise. Is never knowledge. Get it? Whoa. So, what's your solution to the coming gas prices are probably not going to go down? Do you have a solution to that? They do. It's work from home. This is already doing this outside this country or corporation. Remember, stay home, save lives, all that nonsense, stay home, stay all that. They're doing it again. Outside of America, they are. I don't know. I was thinking about getting an electric car. Seriously. I might. Sometimes you got to give unto Caesar what's to Caesar. Because I can make my own power. Right? Make my own power. I could make my own gas, but much easier. The sun shines every day. So I don't know. Some of these, I don't know. I'm going to look into it. There's a lot of EVs are getting pretty dirt cheap because people are, the EV market's kind of dying. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know what I'm saying? I don't like that technology. I hate all that stuff. I don't like tech at all. I'm a high-tech redneck, remember? But you got to use what you got, guys. That's why I'm putting this property on the grid. After 10 years of being off the grid, I want a freeze dryer out here. Until they shut everything down and you can't go to the store and I can't go get more vegetable starts or whatever, seeds or, more stock, livestock, chickens, rabbits, goats, sheep, ducks, whatever, I'm going to keep doing it. Hell yeah, I am. I'm going to put one in the foot of the system and I'm going to step out, right? 1 foot out of the system. New system comes. I don't like the new system. Guess what? See ya. You don't have 1 foot out of the system. New system comes. Guess what? See ya. You're going to the new system. So better get that 1 foot out of the system, brothers, sisters. It's okay to keep 1 foot in the system. Don't listen to nobody. Don't listen to that. Until the captain puts the fasten seatbelt sign on, you're not free to move out the cabin. Go. Get it. Get it. Buy it from freaking Amazon. Who cares? Give unto Caesar. If that's the most reasonably rate that you can get, you should have been supporting local long ago, but become the local support chain. Become the local supply chain. Remember, the big box store shuts down. You got some, you buy a half a hog or a half a lamb or something from a Mennonite or some, Quakers or something like that. They remember that's good food, right? They raise that with good, right? There you go. They take cash. They might take silver and gold too. Probably. Ask them. I bet you they would. Barter. The barter system. Better start learning how to do that now. You know what I'm saying? So I like the idea of having a hybrid here, and put it here or something like that. Something that would still run off electric if I needed it to, or I could run it off gas or just a straight electric one. Who cares? It's a throwaway car to me. I'm not trying to go to the woods with it. When I go to the woods, I'm going to have enough gas to go to the woods, and that's how I'm going to go to the woods and then disappear, and that's it, I guess, till I can figure out a way to make some gas or something. There's ways to make gas. You can make gas, not impossible. So, but again, my idea is to take a look in the future and getting one of these cars. If the EV market crashes again, I'm fine with that. I want to find something that's got a good battery life. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily. If you were in Japan, there's a whole bunch of vehicles over there, or China. They have massive EV vehicles, many models over there. So maybe somebody shipped one of those over here. Some are pretty garbage, but there are some that are okay. So that's what I'm saying, or maybe it's just a first year Tesla or something, but the battery is what I'd be looking at. That's what the battery is all that matters. The rest of the car is throwaway, right? Or the battery's throwaway and the rest of the car, and you need to find a new battery, one or the other. You got to look at it either way, but, they serve a purpose for later. Like I said, when hardly anybody's on the road, they're canceling all the gas right now. Unless you had seen that, I don't think people see that. They are literally strangling all this petroleum because they're going to bring us this pave. This is part of Operation Mockingbird, Operation Nanook, High Jump, Operation Warp Speed, Project Blue Book. This is all part of this bringing in the new tech. They have tech. They don't need gas. They never needed to fight one oil war ever. No person ever needed to die over oil. Nope. It's all been a scam, and you're liable for it, and I am too. I served the beast system. I served in the military. I am guilty, okay? Just as guilty as you. But if you keep serving the system and keep paying for it and keep allowing it to happen and keep feeding it by going to work and filling out that W-2 and taking that federal tax out, then you're feeding the beast. You killed those little girls over there in Iran. Whether you like it or not, you will be held accountable during the day of judgments at the great and dreadful day of the Lord, at the seventh trump, right? The final shofar at judgments. When you pass through that book of judgments, everybody's going to see that you paid to kill those Iranian children and the Ukrainian men and women too. Remember, in Ukraine, you've been paying for that for 4.5 years. Remember how long you've been feeding the system. You don't like hearing that, but that's the truth. Nobody else is going to tell you that. How come nobody told me that? It doesn't matter. Did you get a vote on whether you blew up those kids in Iran or not? Did you get a vote on that? You think voting is gonna make a change? I told you how you make a change, whether it's just you vote with your dollars, where you spend them. Don't partake in unfruitful works of darkness. You go to the store and the food that they offer us at the store is basically, poison, goyim slop, but you don't know how to read the label. You won't look for the certain. You just take whatever looks good off the shelf. They market that. They're hoping to market it with your kids to all those colors and sugars and dyes, M&Ms. Remember M&Ms, red dye, and it was going to, remember, and then yellow piss, yellow lake number dye or blue, whatever. You want to turn yourself into an avatar or Smurf or whatever. No, they're marketing that on purpose. Those things are not good for your body. We should not be eating 90+% of what's at the grocery stores. It's not good for our body. Robs us of nutrition in many ways. genetically modified. It attacks your gut bacteria, brother. So just look into it, okay? Your gut bacteria has everything to do with your biome, your, that with your, you know, absorption of nutrition in your lower intestine. That all starts in your gut bacteria with your acids and things. This does not allow your proteins to separate as whole, uh, and become separated, and then they go in your lower intestine. They not be able to be absorbed by the villi lining, and they go into your poop tract, your lower intestine, and become toxins. So study nutrition. I'm not a doctor, but I have studied nutritional doctor, and I have studied medical I am a first responder. I have been a prior law enforcement, served in the middle. I know how to put your body back together. I will put your body parts back in until the paddy wagon, or the, hopefully not the paddy wagon, until the to the well, if you don't have me there, you don't have any, I won't stuff your guts back in your body. Then you'll just have to wait for the wagon. Then, okay, hold on, I don't know what I'm doing. No, I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm not an MD, brothers, sisters, but I have first responder. I know what a lot of emergency room doctors, I don't know everything they know, but I have a pretty good handle on a majority, and then study the things outside the box that they don't study because they get paid to stay in the box. PhD, MD, whatever. ND, nutritional doctor. Let's go back to what I was saying. They don't like those. They whack nutritional doctors, brothers, sisters, because diet is everything. You are what you eat. So, I guess okay, so we're not getting any more comments. Why are you guys not commenting, man? What's wrong? Am I going too fast for you? So, but you are what you eat. So food is important, to grow your own food. As a matter of fact, hope you're growing a garden this year. That's a great way to combat and beat the system and check yourself out of the system and become your own system. Is to, hey, one tomato plant. Tomatoes look like they're all the same color and shape. Why are tomatoes different shape? Apples, pears. This stuff looks like wax fruit? It used to be on Nana's table. Remember or grandma, whatever you call her, the little cornucopia with the stuff that looked like it was all wax sprayed and all glossy. That's what your food looks like. Your vegetables and your fruit at the store now. That's not food, brothers, sisters. But you'll keep going and buying it. It doesn't have it's robbed of nutrition. Remember, they grow the food for nutrition. They grow it so it looks good when it gets there at the store. Frozen vegetables have more nutrition in them than actual fresh vegetables. That's insane. No, it's not, because they do those grow those at the height of nutrition, pick them at the height of nutrition, because they're going to can them, or freeze them. Same thing. And they end up, um, not picking them to look good. They pick them so that they're nutritious. So that's not common knowledge, but it's mind numbing. So either way, like I said, you become a product of your environment, and it will rub off on you. And if you keep putting that crap in your body, you're going to feel like crap. And so I think that's why I don't feel very good either. I don't eat as good as I should, as good as I could. And I'm guilty too. So I don't think that I'm some kind of perfect saint, where I'm just a saint's a servant, that I can get it all right. I don't get it all right. I fall short of the word, and I don't eat everything, but at least I'm making the attempt. I do have chickens. Uh, I have had more livestock, but I don't have enough people. I can't wear myself out anymore. I can't raise a full boat like I did with chickens and ducks and sheep and goats. And at one time I did hogs as well, and then raised dogs. And I'm just one guy. I thought people were coming out here, but nobody ever came. So now I'm not trying to do that. Now I'm just trying to build the ministry out. So I don't even know why I'm doing that anymore. I don't really get any feeling that anybody will ever come here, but it doesn't matter. It's not for me. Remember, I'm going to be gone. People will come here after I'm gone. See, that's all that matters. So, yep, that's called infamous, not famous. So there's a difference. So it's a legacy. It's what's left after you're gone, not while you're here. So you're supposed to put your treasure in a higher place for after you die. So hallelujah. Thank you, Father, to have the ability to stay going and girded to get this done. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to keep putting in my effort. I'm a little disappointed that I didn't get a call from. I did get a call from the mobile home ordinance division today, so I missed the calls 2 times though. But I did get the information. He did leave a voicemail, so I do think I can get it done now. I know what I have to get the county to call me. The tax assessment on this property to be able to place in my packet and file it with the state of Oregon to claim ownership of the new building that I bought for the ministry. So lots of work done on the ministry. I'm glad that I can keep sidetracked it again from all the other disgusting, filthy things that are going on in my life that I hate being here. And I wish I had somebody to share, but I don't have anybody to share with. So that's my struggle. Most people's struggles, they don't have enough. Mine is that I have too much and I can't share it. So um, if there was a way I could walk away from it all today, I would. I'd walk away from all of it. There's nothing here that's other than my dog. I'd have to have my dog, probably my kitty. I have to bring my animals. But other than my living, because we're supposed to take a look, but the rest of it could stay. It's just dirt. So I'm not excited over dirt anymore. Don't do that for me. So, like I said, maybe if I had some more people around me and I would be that just, they came from the dirt too. So you came from the dirt. I came from the dirt. I'm not so excited with myself either. So, oh, I'm going to have to get a fire going tonight, guys. I can tell it's going to cool off tonight. I bet you it'll get down in the 20s tonight, I think. I'm going to have to bring those other ladies in. I ruined the medicinal flowers. The three of them got torched. The other one of them's okay. Must have, that's a different strain. So it wasn't bothered at all. That's crazy. But there were different strains or from different places, so they don't all react the same. So, oh well, things happen. I'll grow back out. There's tiny little brand new starts. So I bet you in a month or two they'll fill back out. They'll just take a little longer. That's fine. I don't want them to get huge, and I don't like large, huge plants. I don't want them to. I don't have the room for it right now. So, and the best medicine comes off the smallest plants. So, not the largest plants, although they're nice, but you have a lot of issues with larger plants too. So, thank you, Father, that I can even grow my own medicine. Thank you, to have a space and a place to do that. There are many states in this country. We're so united, the United Fakes of America, that some states they'll throw you in jail for having a seed. That's crazy. Kind of me a Cheech and Chong, man. They can bust you for seeds, man. Oh man, it's just the migra, man. All right, you guys are a quiet bunch. I apologize. I know it's this channel. I don't know. It's frustrating me a little bit, so that we don't get more conversation from you guys. It's just weird how less and less the conversation on this channel just keeps dropping off and dropping off and dropping off. So I don't know, man. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. I just I like to have a conversation with people. I don't like to sit here and just talk to myself. I can make channel videos and do other things with my time, and still serve the same purpose. But again, it's the conversation. It's the dialect with people that I'm supposed to fellowship. So Father's not going to make it easy on me. I know that. So it's okay. They all know I tried. Even if nobody speaks up, they go down as the silent majority. Most people will be silenced, and I won't. They've tried, but I keep going. So until my last breath, I'm going to keep sharing the gospel. Father is the one who gives the hearing ear, and Father is the one who gives the seeing eye. So, not trying to change anybody, but like I said, just think it's hilarious. 6 people sitting there and just just pulling your own chain over there, just stroking your own ear or whatever. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you in here doing? What are you doing? 6 of you just sitting there. What is visual? Something visual? No, I'm not nothing nice to look at. The word is what you're supposed to be, sharing, right? So, and sometimes they ban the frustrating, but normally people is, hey, I'm put something, they won't, so. It won't let me put anything in the chat. It won't let me comment. You guys are just sitting there. So appreciate it. But all right, like I said, if I can't get a normal conversation, I'll end this stream and maybe come back on maybe later. Maybe I'll just not, So I don't know. We'll see. The channel will serve the purpose that Father wants. So he'll make me do whatever he wants me to do. So, but again, I'm not going to sit in here and not have a conversation with somebody else. I have no problems having a conversation. I could talk each one of you more than all of you in this channel combined. I could for hours. If my back didn't hurt me, I'd be able to stay in here longer, but I can't. I don't do what I was able to do years ago, or even, you know, just progressively, you know, but I'm trying to take care of it. So I can take care of me so I can endure. Maybe take a little time off in here. So I don't know, man. Like I said, gets boring. You guys are boring. You know that? You're a boring group. There are 5 of you just sitting there with your thumb up your ass. So ask somebody who doesn't learn, doesn't say, you know, stubborn, just sit there and won't move. Don't do nothing. Right? So why are you just sitting there and not saying anything? Are you saying something and you just it's not coming through? I just refreshed you guys as a person said they might drive a hybrid. We quit talking about EVs like 10 minutes ago. So what are you guys just in here just being entertained? I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to share the word of Father. So, okay. Much agape. Thank you, Father, for this ministry. Somebody might hear it, the hearing ear, and the eye to see, but I don't think it's any one of these 6 people in here right now. So, sounds like it's just falling on deaf ears to me. So, all right, Father, thank you. Maybe somebody else will come in here after this stream is over. They'll watch the restream, and they will absorb and glean. And these ones that are here just didn't. They sat here like the silent majority, and they didn't say anything, no comments. So because I would be commenting in the video live stream, we'd be making comments. The live stream would be about the comments, but we have a bunch of nons in here using their Fifth Amendment. There's 5 of them remaining silent. So I'm not Pastor Revelation, Pastor Apocalypse. Whoa.